Thank you very much, gents. It is indeed our final match of Miramar here for Bottom 16 Week 2, presented by Alienware and Toomey. Getting towards that middle section of the day, Matt, where, you know, if you're down the bottom, if you're like a Unique or a Balnam or an Enterforce, you really need to start collecting points.
Boy, you're nice, stopping right there before GEN.G and pointing them out in that position. All right. So, Miramar has been giving us some pretty cruel circles. Let's be real off of that one. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe, crossing fingers. I mean, I know I like chaotic circles, but we need a stabilized circle at some point inside of Miramar. So hopefully we shall see it inside this game. Really, I've just got my eye on FaZe. I know everybody's been talking about FaZe, but there's a freaking good reason. 2 times they've gotten second place in a row, 10 kills in one game, 18 in another. Miramar just feels good for them right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they've been able to play it actually really well. It's not even just as simple as, oh, they've gotten lucky. No, they actually played the circle really well in match 1, got a couple of kills from that. And then, I mean, as we know, the story of match 2, that's one that's going to be on the highlight reels for a while for AC and Gustav. But for FaZe, Matt, right, this is the biggest takeaway for me, is they're now up to 40 points. Well, 40 points in week 1, that actually got you top 5. So that's kind of already the point they're at in 2 matches. That pressure valve that maybe is there on the teams going into match 1, well, that's completely off now for FaZe. They can enjoy the rest of the night.
Well, I mean, Game Home and 17 Gaming are tied.
Overall, they've always been somewhat aggressive. As Lil Ghost should find a kill on the Remba. Remba somehow at 1 HP. He'll die as soon as Lil Ghost repeats and get that kill, get that elimination. But yeah, I think aggression overall just is going to be a good sign for those really top teams.
Smart aggression is really the key, and that one is Fate tries to go for a drive-by on Emino. That doesn't work out. Aduzi's going to continue forward. Interforce has a little bit of an idea on what's going on over here. It's I mean, they're going to have good vision on the rotate, but not the most strong position. No, Indigo, it's fine.
There's no one in there.
It's fine. It's fine. Oh, although Amino getting the spin back around takes a little bit of damage. Faultlessly does have the grenade prep, but it got to be careful at range. It's going to be Indigo pulling off the aim on the vehicle, now getting some defense for his teammates.
This is big, though. This is match 3, and Unique are almost going out in last place, and they're already in last place at the moment on the total standings here for Bottom 16 Week 2. If they remain in 16th position by the end of the night, they're just straight up not playing weekly survivals this week, right? Like, Dove has 5 more nades to throw out in this position, and it is a good position for these nades to roll down into GEN.G. But look at Onyx. He pushes up. Vex finds the knock. He wants to join the party. This is not just the duo show for FaZe Clan. He wants to make it the trio show.
Gustav stepping in. Look at the positions at FaZe. They can step in forward on different angles off of it. Having to juke through the nades. It's going to be Vex that steps up again. Finds himself an angle to play with. Has to be cautious. He does go down to a side approach coming out from Bio. But now, 2 members up. It's going to be AC and Gustav yet again. Does the power up return one more time? Do we see FaZe get stronger as they lose members? The circle does indeed go this direction.
Well, it's specific members. Let's just make sure that, because it's 80 and Gustav, they're the 2 you want up for FaZe after what we saw from the last game. Let's see if they can maybe go back to back with that kind of performance. Still need to deal with the rest of GEN.G. I think it's only Azura that might be up at the moment. Never mind, Pio actually inside of the blue as well, a little bit further back. This is awful for GEN.G as well. I mean, look at that leaderboard down in the bottom 3. 80 cops a massive nade from Pio. Half health. Might have to fall back. And Cobra has an angle onto Gustav, but he can't hit his shots.
Yeah, I mean, that could have given GEN.G something to work with, but now trying to prep up the nades, that's going to be pretty close. Does land on top of 8C. Now just 1 up for FaZe, but you can see GEN.G is a little bit hesitant to go anywhere inside of this. They know the fact that there's an outside influence that is coming in. Now, just Gustav up, looking at GEN.G. 3 members on the other side of it, trying to go for a peek through the windows. Doesn't get it. FaZe goes down in 16th after 2 second places.
As fun as that storyline is, Matt, you know, the whole 8C Gustav, and I love that we had it. Yeah, Glimpse is going to die there inside of the blue. This is much better from GEN.G. 5 kills now. They're completely by themselves out east, but just quietly, this might be back-to-back wins for 17, especially if they get this phase 6 circle shift onto that compound down the south. I don't know if any of those teams up north will be able to contest them.
Oh, Fury with the angle into this, just going to drop a grenade right on
Never
top
mind.
of Ghibli. There's nowhere to go. Good connection coming up into that one. Ghibli in some trouble, so now has to be a little bit cautious as these throwables are just going to continue to rain down, and that looks like that's in the pocket. There you go. Ghibli now eliminated. Fury getting a little bit more control, but guess what? KPI hears this, and Fury is aware of it. Spins back around, takes a couple of shots, and now trying to retreat away from them.
Yeah, and Fury completely safe as well on the north side, so they only have to do with KPI unless Oath find a way to flank in behind them out to the west. If Oath do that, then that kind of allows Sonics to push forward and get up here as well. It's kind of got that domino effect if they do it. It seems like Oath will be actually making this little flank happen, so Fury now have to be careful of behind them, let alone KPI in front of them. They're going to get pinched here. This could be disaster for Fury.
Well, there's going to be a new contender that is approaching. It looks like it's going to be GEN.G coming up back behind. What's going on with KPI? All the firefight going on in the north right now as everybody's getting condensed in, and it's like a triple-decker sandwich going off over here. So PO is going to get a little bit of vision on what's going on with KPI as they're trying to retreat from the Fury fight, but now Oath coming up the hillside looks like they're trying to send it into Fury's position. It's just jockeying around for this high ground point. GEN.G and Nonix sending it in. You can see now Fury trying to reset as they know that they've got this dip. Oath now cresting the hillside, should have vision onto KPI. Good shot going to come out from Snakers. Get a quick drop onto it, and now KPI finds himself surrounded on every single angle with just one member up in Capitan.
Yeah, really well played from Ronan and Insight, Fury as a whole, to just understand, okay, we're getting pinched here. We need to get out of this position before we actually end up getting eliminated. And for GEN.G, they did give Fury a bit of a reprieve also by flanking in behind KPI. It just continued to force this fight. It's a really good rotation for Oath, right? Getting away from Sonics, getting away from 17, getting up here, finding a couple of kills. It's worked out really well for them, as we can see with this circle map, though. I do question now those teams down to the south. If Oath up here and or GEN.G continued this strong foothold, how do you even make your way up this hill?
Well, you're starting to see that the struggle that 17 Gaming has is they have one of their members down, at least trying to get the res into it. 17 did lean into a 2-2 approach into it. They still have a game home member back behind him inside of Mac Moo, so it's going to make it a little bit more problematic. Sonic's now in a little bit of an angle that they can get some vengeance on everything that's going on. Let's not forget about E36 that still has one of their members alive very close to GEN.G's position, but GEN.G is kind of separating out into a 2-1, trying to keep control over everything that's going on to the east. KPI does get spotted out. Last member does go down. Fury in a little bit of trouble as now Snakers does get vision on them, but not the best angle to work with.
Yeah, and Fury's bowl position as well, very susceptible to any nades that will make their way in. Only one just thrown there, well short of Ronan. So Insight goes down, he's eliminated, but at the very least for Fury, 7 kills this game, plus a top 6 finish. This is already a win without it actually being the chicken dinner. Nice knock from Pio onto Rello, and this is where GEN.G can now push onto Oath, and it may even allow those southern teams to push up as well. Yeah,
17 is exploiting this opportunity. GEN.G's Assura and Pio getting a little bit of vision on what's going on with Oath. Oath now trying to reposition to make sure that they get this res off. Sonics does hear this and starting to make their way up the hillside as well. 17 looks like they now have a clean path with most vision being denied out. Actually, it's going to be a little ghost that finds vision on the Sonics. Takes some shots, and it's going to be Show that follows up, does get the down onto one. Now contained fights starting to break out on multiple angles and specifically multiple verticalities, as it's going to be 17 Gaming that has to step away, and that nade was really well thrown. But on the other side of it, 17 has a much easier toss.
Yeah, it just feels like every time Sonics get pounced on, they're just incapable of being able to fight back. Yes, Show's got the AWM, he landed the shots, they get the down onto Tiggleton, but once again, Sonics just kind of not able to really go toe-to-toe with a lot of these other teams. Finally, Pure Boy gets taken out. He was the solo for such a long time. That now brings us down to our final 4 teams, as Tiggleton almost gets flushed by Snakers. Oath with 4 alive, 5 kills, top position. It's been a really good game from them. 17, and you know, they were on that south side. They've been able to push up. That AWM from Show has already been put to good use. They've got 5 kills. So basically, all 4 of these teams, it doesn't even matter about getting the win. They've already had really good games, as Sonics now just down to H-win.
I mean, whenever we look at the way it's set up, 17 knows where to go, but it's almost like a repeat of what we were seeing last time. 17 gets control, cooked a little bit long. I think that the follow-up nade is going to land right. Oh, no, rejected, still counts.
Wait,
Who
what?
cares? It's off the backboard. I don't understand the physics on it, but sometimes it happens like that. With the nade coming out, looks like GEN.G is going to move forward into Oath's position, and 17 Gaming is now waiting for a fight in the north to break out and seeing if maybe they can just jump on top of it. Kickstart has to be very careful. 2 different GEN.G members on this approach.
I'm speechless. I have no idea how that nade's killed H-win there. It's bounced actually away from him. And yet, he somehow gets exploded. 4 versus 4 versus 3 to close out match 3. And our final game of Miramar for the bottom 16. GEN.G done a tremendous job remembering back to the start of this game, when they were taking that fight with FaZe. It looked like maybe they were going to be fodder to the storyline of FaZe, but no, they stood strong. They won that fight. Pio with a nice little transfer gets the double onto relevant kickstart. And suddenly, it's like GEN.G of old have made an appearance here at PGC.
Finally, seeing the double up sprays come in. Oath now aware of the fact that they could be in some trouble. 17 Gaming knows the fact that this could be an opportunity. Molotov's going to land right on top of Pio. He's just going to lean into the flushes right now. Anonix gets shot down at range. Snakers gets vision onto it, so Pio has to be pretty careful. Snakers and the rest of the crew is taking a ton of damage, having to step away from this one. 17 Gaming coming up right back behind Oath. Could pounce at any given moment. It's a duo versus a duo lining up into this one as 17 Gaming is split across from it. Snakers still just trying to stay alive. It's going to be a yet again 17 coming into this one, picking up a kill. Are we going to see Snakers finding the angle into what's going on? And it out, goes for the spray into him, but doesn't get the knock. That is a pivotal moment. Snakers knows that he goes down, and now it's just 17 versus GEN.G.
Pivotal moment. That's a facepalm moment. Should have at least got that knock and then converted that into an elimination. Pio the solo. He got the down at least onto Suju. Might buy some time. It's a 2 versus 1. Go for the revival to a 0. The nade falls short. He can get a 0 back up. Then push forward, be that front man. Oh, as soon as he gets him up, the nade brings him back down. Oh my goodness. Disaster. Little Ghost actually ties to Xiao Bei, but at this point, you get Suju back up. Pio now has to go it alone. It's going to be a 1 versus 3 for 17 Gaming, looking for back-to-back wins.
Pio, I like this. Aware of how the approach is going to go through, repositions around, realizes the fact that the res should come in. That's the weaker angle. Good on this one. Now down to a 2v1. And seeing the fact that he can reposition around this yet again, use the hillside that they think that he's going to use for cover, and instead see if maybe he can get a flank position around it. Now it's going to be 17 Gaming aware of how he's going to try to make this approach. Show tries to get some vision into it, going for the flush into it. No, very aware of the fact that it is just going to be trying to get points at this stage. Pio knows the numbers are coming in, gets a knock onto one of them. Yo, no life, down to just 7. Shoots, I have an idea where it's coming from, but no! Yet again, 17 Gaming finds themselves with a victory.
Wow, I thought for a second that they were about to throw that to Pio for what would have been a 1v3 clutch. He gets pretty close. He got 2 of them, but 17 Gaming, they get 2 wins in a row.
I mean, you can see that 17 Gaming not feeling the best about that one, realizing it got pretty close there. I do like the fact that we're finally starting to see GEN.G again, because it feels like they haven't been around for a few weeks.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. They haven't been able to show up.